Hey families, Pastor Laine here with another Fearless Family 5. That's 5 minutes of encouragement for the day. And today's encouragement is to laugh. Laugh at yourself. More importantly, teach your kids to laugh at themselves. But before I go there, I've got a real quick public service announcement. Did you guys know that there is another pandemic out there in the world today? And it's spreading faster than COVID-19. You know what it is? It's actually CVOID. It stands for Childhood Victim of Insecurity Disorder, and it's had its grip on American families for the last 20 years. You know, it reminds me of a story when I was about 7 years old. My older brother and I had rallied all the kids on the block to come play a football game. We must have had 20 kids from our neighborhood on our front lawn that day. It was the middle of July, and it was hot. We were wearing out that water hose, drinking water by the gallon. You know, the only problem with drinking that much water, it makes you have to go pee like a Russian racehorse. And we had a great game going. I didn't want to call a timeout to go relieve myself. I thought I could hold it, but unfortunately my bladder disagreed, and consequently I ended up darkening the front of my tan corduroy cutoffs. Trying to convince myself that it wasn't visible to anybody, but it didn't take long for my older brother's eagle eye to just kind of focus in on my mistake. And as little boys do, he wasted no time in taking the opportunity to make fun of me. And guys, I can tell you, today I can remember with vivid clarity 19 kids on one side of our lawn and me all by myself on the other. And they were pointing and they were laughing. And I tell you what, they were just having so much fun at my expense. And to top it all off, my brother ends up leading them in a chant of Laine peed in his pants, Laine peed in his pants. Man, I was so embarrassed. So embarrassed. But you know what? The more embarrassed I got, the louder they got. There was blood in the water and the piranhas were frenzied. So guys, I just wanted to share with you guys that, man, I struggle with most of my adult life with insecurity, childhood and adult life. And just learning how to combat those feelings of not belonging. Man, unfortunately, it took me well into my adult years just to recognize and to determine where that true source of identity comes from. And that's my identity in Christ. So as a recovering member of this esteemed club of CVOID, I tend to recognize insecurity with a little bit greater clarity than most people. I also noticed that the establishment was seeing some of the same thing, and they instituted this massive campaign to increase self-esteem in our country. Y'all remember that? And the only thing about that is whenever you shoot for this goal of self-esteem, it yields a return of self-entitlement. Think about it. The object of self-esteem is what? Self. That's not what our Bible teaches us on how we're supposed to deal with that kind of thing. A better answer really is to focus our efforts on thinking of others, but that's a talk for another day. So what is a tool of how we can deal with this insecurity problem today? Well, you know what, guys, as an adult, I finally just realized that I do and I say some silly and stupid things, and people think they're funny. And I finally just resigned myself to the old adage, if you can't beat them, join them. And you know what? I learned to laugh at myself, and I can't tell you how big a difference that made in my life. Parents, you have an incredible opportunity to teach this laugh at yourself concept to your kids. Let me give you an example. You know, whenever you have one of your young children and they stumble and fall, the way you respond in that moment will train them on how they're going to respond in the future. Remember, guys, our kids take their cues from us. If we as parents overreact and coddle a child unnecessarily, the child may learn to cry anytime they fall in the future. Not because they're hurt, but because they're embarrassed. They see us overreact. They may think that they did something wrong, and we find ourselves years later why our kids are struggling with insecurity. Guys, there's a better way to respond in this situation. Keep it lighthearted and redirect their attention. Then do your training during a playful time. Be silly, fall down in front of them, and then lead everyone in a chorus of laughter. And then have your kids do the same. Teach them to laugh at their unintentional failures. Nothing redirects ridicule quicker than laughter from the one being ridiculed. Now, before my critics are quick to point out that you should never laugh at someone, let me offer this bit of consolation. If you can teach your kid to laugh at themselves, then you can teach them about the appropriateness of laughing in different situations and to be sensitive to others' emotions. Teach them the difference between laughing to build someone up and laughter to ridicule. Kids are smart, they just need to be led. They need to be influenced. And parents, that influence should come from mom and dad at home, not from Johnny on the playground. This is Pastor Laine signing off for the Fearless Family 5. Go laugh at yourself.